How do forensic photographers adjust camera settings at crime scenes? Imagine walking into a scene where every detail could be a clue. How do forensic photographers make sure they capture everything perfectly? Well, it all starts with understanding how to set the camera right. First, they focus on the fundamental exposure controls: aperture, shutter speed, and ISO. Aperture is like the size of the camera's eye opening. A wider opening, like f/.8, lets in more light, which is great in dark scenes. But for crime scenes, they often use smaller openings like f/16 or f/22. That keeps everything from the front to the back in focus, which is essential for capturing all evidence clearly. Shutter speed is how long the camera's sensor is exposed to light. Faster speeds, like 1 to 50 of a second, help prevent any motion blur, even if there's slight movement or vibrations. Since crime scenes are usually still, they can use slower shutter speeds if needed, but they must be careful to avoid blurring. ISO is how sensitive the camera sensor is to light. Lower ISO, like 100 or 200, produces cleaner images with less grain. But in darker environments, they might bump it up to 800 or even 1600. The trick is balancing brightness with image quality because higher ISO can add noise. When choosing camera modes, many forensic photographers prefer manual mode. This gives them full control over aperture, shutter speed, and ISO. They can set everything precisely, which is vital for evidence photos that might be used in court. Sometimes they use aperture priority mode to focus on depth of field, setting the aperture to f/16 or f/22, and letting the camera adjust shutter speed automatically. Light metering is also key. Matrix metering looks at the entire scene and sets exposure accordingly. Center-weighted metering focuses on the middle of the shot, which is useful when the evidence is in the center. Spot metering is very precise, measuring just a tiny area, perfect for exposing a specific piece of evidence correctly. If lighting is poor, they might use a flash. Off-camera flash is often preferred because it can be positioned to highlight textures and details without washing out the scene. They adjust the flash power and angle carefully to avoid glare or shadows. White balance is another important setting. Crime scenes can have mixed lighting, natural daylight, fluorescent, or incandescent. Setting the white balance correctly ensures colors look true to life, which is critical for evidence like bloodstains or fabric. Lens choice matters too. A normal lens gives a natural perspective, but wide-angle lenses are used for overall scene shots, and telephoto lenses help capture distant evidence without distortion. They select the lens based on what they need to document. Before shooting, they double-check the camera's date and time, set the ISO, white balance, and turn off any exposure compensation. Using a tripod helps keep the camera steady, especially when using slow shutter speeds or doing long exposures. In nighttime scenes, they might use a technique called painting with light. They open the shutter for a longer time, then use flashlights or small flashes to illuminate different parts of the scene. This helps reveal details that would otherwise be hidden in darkness. Overall, adjusting camera settings at a crime scene is about balancing light, focus, and clarity. They constantly evaluate the scene's lighting and evidence, then tweak the settings to ensure every photo is sharp, accurate, and useful for investigators and courts alike.